What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Dortus Doe, and you're now tuned in to the DLT podcast show. I'm so excited on today because when I tell you the man that we have, the guest that we have on today, for me, he's no guest because I've known this man for a while now. He's even my teacher in music. When I tell you sound, when I tell you just the way he puts things together and give you the knowledge and break it down to you, even a baby can understand. And then on top of that, he's a man of God that brings forth the word and bring it forth exactly how it is, even with some humor. I love it. So without further ado, I'm going to digress because y'all know how I get excited. And now I'm going to introduce the one and only Minister James Small. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, on today, I just got to have everyone know, how did you get started with the whole music? Was it always in you? What was your first instrument? How did that work out?
Well, my dad was a musician, and I also had a sister that sung with Marvin Sapp. Okay, I also was, how I got started, I was always beating on something.
Yes.
And I got some chairs in the kitchen, and in the kitchen, I was always beating on them with sticks.
Yes, sir.
And one day I came home, and my dad always would tell me, I'm gonna get your drum set,
Okay.
And he got my sister an organ, and he got my younger brother a guitar.
Okay.
Because he played guitar and piano.
Okay, wow.
And so I come home one day from school, and I come home, and there was that pretty drum set. And when that drum set was there, man, I went, wow. And that's how I got started. What inspired me, though, Mark DeBarge,
Yes,
we all were going to the same church.
Okay.
His uncle church, William C. Avenue.
Yes, sir.
Bethel Pentecostal church. And they were all there playing, and he inspired me to play because he came and got on my set and played better than I did, and that's what inspired me.
Hold on. Did you say DeBarge, Elder?
Yes.
Wow. Tell me, how did that go? We're talking about the DeBarge, right?
We all went to the same church. Like I said, their uncle was the pastor of William C. Avenue.
Yes, sir.
And that's where I got a lot of my experience from through them. And and it was a guy there also by the name of Ricky Collier. That taught a lot of us, and that's how I really got going.
Wow, I mean, you've been around the great, Elder, for some time now, just from you explaining to me how you came up and how the music industry went. Were you always in the church when it came to the music, or how did that go for you?
Yes, we always had a piano in our house.
Okay.
And I always was around music. My sisters was always a big inspiration to me also because they were always doing some things as far as music goes.
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, the boxer Buster Mathis took them to the studio.
Okay.
And they recorded a demo. Okay, that was way back in the 60s. But I'm probably telling how old I am. Nevertheless,
yes, sir.
That's what was going on at that time. And at that time, I was really trying to play keyboard then.
Yes, sir.
And then as years went on, I started developing who I really was.
Now, on today's message when you preached, the choice is yours. When I began to think about it over and over, just minutes ago, you just got down from the pulpit, and it's still just playing on me how many choices us people that we go through, whether they be in church or whether they be in the world, how many choices they have to make or to go to this way or to not go that way. And the thing that I have the question for you is, did you always know that you were going to end up in ministry? Or was it always something like a desire inside? How did that go about?
Well, the Bible says that one planet, one water, but God gives the increase.
Yes, sir.
Ever since I was a little boy, I can remember myself. I always had God in the back of my corner of my mind.
Yes, sir.
I remember when I was in the kindergarten, and I remember my sister, one of my sisters that's older than me, would say, God is dead now. We don't have to worry about it.
Jesus.
So when she said that let you know that at that time I still had God on my mind.
Yes, sir.
And one of my aunts was always in church, and she was babysitting us for my mom one day. And she was always read these Bible stories to us, and she was reading one about in a Revelation about the big balls of fire coming down, and you won't be able to. And that scared me. Not scared me like a boogeyman, but scared me that I need to make a choice. Even at that age, I needed to make a choice.
Okay.
And so that stuck with me my whole life. God in the back of my mind. So when I got about 10 years old, at Bethel Pentecostal, the Holy Spirit hit me. And that was the seed being watered at that time.
Yes, sir.
And as I got older, God was still in the back of my mind to do right, to do this, to do that. And the choice the message that was spoke today was always in front of me about you choose this day who you're going to serve.
Yes, sir.
And so when I'm from Michigan, and when I came to Georgia, God set that fork in front of me and said, I gave you good parents, I gave you good life, you choose this day who you're going to serve. And I kept going until this day.
Wow. Wow. I am just really moved, Elder. I really am moved just to hear your story. Now, did you always know that there was something about you that was different?
Yes. When the time came, like I said, when the time came, matter of fact, when I came here to Deliverance Life,
yes, sir.
I met your dad, yes, Bishop Doe.
Yes, sir.
One night we were having revival, I believe, and he said, "You're going to be opening up the service," and I said, "I don't know how to open up no service." He didn't argue with me. He didn't say nothing. He just walked off and said he opened up the service. Evidently, he saw something in me that I knew that was in me, but I was afraid to let it come out. And when that happened like that, that's when I knew that God had a calling on my life, because I kept trying to run from it. You know, I kept trying to run from that. And then this particular time at that revival, I had to come forward.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Front center.
Front and center. Now, I'm glad you said it, because it leads me to my next question. I really want to know, when it comes to giving different gems through everything that you've gone through and you've experienced, what are some key factors or gems, as they say, that you could give to those that are upcoming in ministry? Because you're an elder full of knowledge and wisdom in the church, a pillar in the church. So what would be those factors that you could give to those upcoming elders, ministers, pastors, leaders of today?
Like the service says today, you have a choice.
Yes, sir.
And the first choice is to be committed.
Yes, sir.
Once you commit yourself to God, He's nothing to play with. And when you commit yourself, because God got all seeing eyes, and He sees everything you do, He knows everything you do, because He made you. When you're serving God, be as truthful to God as you can. Another thing, when it's time for the commandments, try to follow those as He says to do. When you do that, that's when the grace of God, the blessings of God, comes in on your life. How do you know? Because when you start doing what He said He would do,
yes,
and you will see that in your life, yes, as you go on living.
Yes, sir. Now, my last question before we let you go. What would you say is your strongest point when ministering through music, when ministering with the word, talking to people? What will you say is one of your strongest key points that you would pass on to the next generation?
My strongest point is to serve. In the ministry, on the pulpit, yes, reading the Bible, discussing messages, yes, is serving Him to the fullest. That's one of my strongest points. As long as I'm being pleased to Him, yes, I'm satisfied.
You said it, short and sweet. Listen, everyone, this is the DLT podcast show, and I'm so excited. You've heard it from the elder, the one and only elder. You've heard his background story, and I'm so excited to even be interviewing him on today. Listen, before we let you all go, we don't want you to forget. We don't want you to forget the food drive that we have going on. This week has been the revival week. Well, this month actually has been the revival month, and today is the last day of the revival. However, we don't want you to miss. On the 29th is the food drive, upcoming food drive, so we want to make sure that you are there to get this food, to not only get some prayer, where you can get spiritual food and physical food when you come into the house to get that on that day. So I'm so happy and grateful. Elder, thank you so much for spending your time with us.
Thank you.
I'm grateful. And you heard it first. Before we go, you heard it best. Just like the elder stated, try your best to stick to those commandments. Try your best to be servant to leadership. Always be willing to serve, because that's what I got out of it. So until next time, beautiful people, it's your boy Dortus Doe. This is the DLT podcast, and until next time, peace.